The Griffith family had already suffered unimaginable loss. Collin Griffith was once accused of killing his own father, a crime he was absolved of. But now, just when they thought the worst was behind him, Collin is once again in the spotlight, this time for the brutal stabbing of his mother. What led to this horrifying turn of events? Could the family have seen it coming, or was this a tragic fate no one could escape? Is this a tragic story of a boy caught in terrible circumstances, or is Collin a ticking time bomb? His dark side is finally surfacing. Welcome back to True Crime Desk. I'm Richard, and today we're going to go over a new case. It's not just a new case for this channel, it's a new case in general. It just happened a few weeks ago. I just saw it last week, and I thought, let's go over it. Even though it's not solved yet, it hasn't even gone to court, it's interesting nevertheless. So with all that being said, let's get into it. Now, Collin Griffith, who is from Lawrence County, Arkansas, he's 17 years old right now. And as of the recording of this video, he's been charged with the M of his mother, Amy Griffith. Now, you're going to see as we go along further in this case that this is not the first time he's been charged with that. Now, that's one thing that's very unique about this case when I saw it, is that at 17 years old, he's been in trouble before. And as we go along further, you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. But that's one of the things that stood out to me, is that he's a young man, but he's been doing some bad things. So let's keep going. On August 2023, police responded to a call at the Griffith house. Now, when they arrived on the scene, they found Collin's mother, Amy, unresponsive after being asked multiple times. They did the best they could to save her life, but there was nothing they could do. She was already gone. And Collin was quickly arrested at the scene and was charged with M.
It all started on September the 8th, which was this last Sunday, when we got a 911 call from Collin Griffith, who's 17 years of age. And here's what he said. He said he and his mother had a very long fight, and she fell on a knife and killed herself. And she's bleeding from the neck. He didn't say, just said he's bleeding from the neck. He met the deputies outside, and he was calm, cool, collected, not upset, and he had blood on him. What we found inside was this knife. This knife is 12 inches long, and of the 12 inches, 8 inches of that is the blade. So he's saying that his mother fell on this knife.
Now, like I said earlier, this wasn't the first time that the police were involved with Collin and his family.
Collin said that his dad pulled a knife on him, and he shot and killed his dad. That's right. His father was named Charles. He shot him once in the chest and once in the head, and he claimed self-defense. The Lincoln County Sheriff's Office and the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigations charged Collin with murder in the first degree. They dropped the charges less than a month later. They said they could not disprove Collin's assertion of self-defense. So he was released.
Now, I don't know anybody that's been charged with this once, much less twice. And at 17 years old, that's very unusual. And we're glad that it's that way. This is not something that we need to see or something we want to see. But like I said, it's very unusual, especially at that young age.
So now we're to the fateful day on September 8th. Mom drives up here to Auburndale from Charlotte County. She arrives at 4 o'clock. At about 4:30, witnesses and neighbors see Collin and Mom arguing outside, and Collin grabs his mother by the hair and drags her into the house. Just about 2 hours later, that's when we receive a 911 call where Collin said, I've had a very, very long fight with Mom, and she fell on a knife and she's bleeding from the neck.
There's no doubt in my mind they're going to reopen this because they're going to, it's suspicious now. It's going to be, if it wasn't suspicious before, it definitely is now. Because now that his mother has seen almost the same type of fate, or the end result was the same, a month after, there's no way they're not going to reopen the other case. So there's a lot coming. in the future on this one, that's for sure. The fact that Collin was charged with 2 separate M's within months definitely tells us there's something going on with him. Now, was he being abused, or were his parents really strict and he just didn't like it? Or was he having some kind of mental illness? At this point, we're not really sure, but when the trial comes out, I'm sure we'll find out. But I'm also sure that no matter what, that the defense is going to claim that, because they always do. For him to be able to do this to the 2 people that were the closest to him tells you that there's something wrong. That's for sure.
She takes him in, and then somewhere along the way, he is, put into the hospital under the Baker Act. So Mom obviously knew her son was having some issues. We don't really have any insight into what those issues are at this point, but we do know that he was accused of some acts of violence against her, had been seen, grabbing her, pulling her hair, things of that nature. This is really terrifying stuff.
It's something I see all the time. I see parents.
Really?
I do. I see parents all the time with kids who are very aggressive and violent towards them. But maternal instincts are very strong, and they want to believe in them. And they would literally lay down their life to protect their child. And that even means to their own detriment.
Yeah, it's usually a sign there's some kind of mental illness, you would think, because, his parents are obviously the like I said, the 2 closest to him. I mean, this is not a stranger thing. So if you're capable of doing that to your parents, then there has to be something going on. I think we always want to believe there's some kind of mental illness, that it's just not just a bad kid or evil kid, however you want to put it. We always want to think that there's something else going on, because we just don't want to believe that it's capable and that it's possible that just a normal, I guess if you say, in whatever sense that's supposed to be, can do something like this. But let's move on. Now, the people that were living in Lawrence County were definitely shocked. This is not the type of thing that happens in their small community. And most people couldn't believe that Collin, who seemed to be just a regular teenager, could be responsible for such a horrible crime. There's also a lot of people that were angry and confused in how the justice system had handled the earlier charges surrounding his father's death. Some feel that if Collin would have been held accountable for his first crime, that maybe his mother would still be alive. Now, that was my thinking as well when it came to the first charges, is that if they would have maybe investigated more. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to be a Monday morning quarterback, even though it's not Monday, and and say that they would have kept him in jail or whatever. I haven't seen the evidence yet, but the first thing that most people are probably going to go to is that if they would have done a little bit more, or he would have been not able to go back with his mom, that she'd definitely be alive. So I think that's normal to feel that way, but we have to let the evidence come out. We have to let the trial go and see what the real circumstances is surrounding that. We can't just blame them right away without any evidence to let us know why he wasn't in jail. So let's continue. Now, this case definitely does raise those questions, though, on whether the system failed Collin and his family. I know it definitely failed his mother, that's for sure, because she's no longer alive. But let me know what you think. Should the police have done more than the first M charges? I mean, have you ever heard of this case? I mean, I know it's relatively new, so you might not have heard of it yet. I heard about it a couple of days ago, and before that, I didn't even know anything about it. I thought, let's go ahead and do this, even though it's not solved. I generally like to do cases that have a conclusion somewhat, but I thought it was very interesting, and I hadn't heard of it before, like I said, so I thought, might as well do a video and get the word out there, and then, we'll see what happens in the future. As of now, Collin is facing very serious charges for the emming of his mother. We're not really sure if they're going to find more evidence or not, especially in the case involving his father, but we'll have to wait and see how the court handles this case. Now, like I said earlier, I definitely believe they're going to reopen his father's case, at least take another look at it, because I didn't mention earlier, but in that case, he claimed it was self-defense and that his father came after him. And they obviously felt they didn't have enough evidence to charge him, but with this going on with his mom, there's no doubt in my mind they're going to at least take another look at that case. But what do you think? Let me know. Now, this case is really sad, that's for sure. We have 2 dead parents and a kid. I mean, I know he looks like a grown man, but he's still only 17. Now, if you know me and you've been watching my videos in the past, I'm definitely not making excuses for him. I just want to point out that he's 17, so technically he's still a minor. Every time I do one of these cases, it just makes you realize how fragile life is, and that, you never know. I mean, anytime, anywhere, pretty much nowadays, it's pretty dangerous out there. But when your own child, allegedly at this point, but when your own child is capable of hurting you like that, I don't know what's happening with today's society, but it's definitely going to be an interesting case, that's for sure. So if you guys have any more information on this case, definitely put it down below, because like I said, this is a new one, so I might have missed something, or I just definitely want to discuss it. And let me know what you think about this case in general. I know that these last few videos have been relatively short, but there's not a heck of a lot of information out there. When I saw it, I thought I wanted to do it right away. Like I said, I don't usually do ones that are unsolved or don't have conclusions, but it was interesting. So definitely let me know what you think. Leave in the comments of, about anything. I mean, give me some constructive criticism. It's definitely warranted. Am I going the right way? I'm doing the right thing. I mean, give me some ideas if you have cases or stuff like that. I'd greatly appreciate it. So like I said, I know these last few videos have been kind of short, and I apologize for that, but that's just the way they've been working out lately. So leave a comment on that too if you want them to be longer, shorter. I mean, let me know what you think. I definitely need that feedback, like I said, multiple times. All right, guys. So that's going to do it for this case. So until next time, stay safe, stay curious, and remember to always mind your surroundings. Bye.